Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to Open Office Hours. I'm Crystal Hinkle. I'm part of the team here at Syncro. I'll let the ladies introduce themselves.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Tatiana, part of the sales team here.
Hi everyone, I'm Brandy and I'm also part of the sales team.
So, thank you all again for joining us. I do see some familiar names, so thank you if you've been with us here before. If this is your first time in Open Office Hours, this is really just kind of a place to come hang out, ask whatever questions you've been thinking about throughout the week. Of course, during this time, the health of you and your business is our top priority here at Syncro. So if there is anything going on and if your workflow has changed and you have some questions about how to adapt your business and how to have Syncro help work with you during that change, if you have any questions specifically geared towards that, this is also a really great venue to kind of post those, because not only might we have suggestions, but there's a ton of folks in this room that might also have some ideas and some advice or something that they've done, which is also kind of brings me to my next point, a great place to post wins. So if you're like, whoa, I figured this out, this is working great, we really, really like to hear those things as well. And so, yeah, we use the Q&A. That's kind of the easiest way for the three of us to track questions as they come in. And then other than that, it's kind of just whatever you guys want to go through. If there's downtime, we'll kind of show you some cool stuff that we've been doing, because I'm sure you've seen the team, our dev team is just kind of off the wall right now, releasing just a lot of amazing things and fast. And, we kind of made a promise a couple weeks ago that once a feature is ready, once it's done and been tested, we're releasing it. So we're not kind of waiting on any sort of marketing plan. We're just getting it out there. So you've probably seen a lot of new things that have happened just in the last couple weeks. So if we do have downtime where we don't have questions coming in, we'll probably throw some of those things at you. But yes, any questions are welcome. And it does this every other week. It's like sometimes weeks it like starts slow and then all of a sudden there's a ton of questions. So really, whatever, we're good with whatever. How we can show some features and that kind of thing too if you guys want to show some stuff, because I know there's a lot of really neat stuff. But okay, and again, if you see me looking over here, I'm just looking. I've got my Q&A popped over on the other screen, so that's why I'm looking that direction. Great. Okay, I see a first question coming through. Does someone want to grab that? I haven't read it yet.
I haven't read through it, so I will just try. I trialed Repair Shopper and PO/ordering was easy. I have a test product set up in Syncro, but don't see it listed to order anywhere like in Repair Shopper. Maybe I set up the test product wrong. Are products from tickets needing to be ordered, listed, to make POs from listed like it is in Repair Shopper? To be honest, and Crystal, you might be a lot more familiar with Repair Shopper. I haven't even looked at it. I do know that everything on the Repair Shopper side should be the same in the Syncro side, but if you want to go a little bit, if there's anything you can add to that, it should be the same way as far as I thought.
Yep. Yes, it is. So I'm cleaning up my screens here really quickly to make sure I'm highlighting the right screen. So yes, it is exactly the same, Garrett. So it might be the one thing that I don't know if it's the same is what comes bootstrapped in regards to what's already enabled. And so a lot of times you'll see on Repair Shopper more of the break fix type of features enabled by default, whereas in Syncro you might have to come in here and enable some things. So again, you'll see purchase orders, which I don't actually know if that comes enabled by default. So there's a few things in here that I might just check to see that it's enabled, because absolutely it's the same in Syncro. It runs off of the same back end. So your products, I mean, it's called products and services instead of inventory, but you'll have your inventory modules. You'll see that you've got pending orders as well as purchase orders, and all of your pending orders, you can turn those into purchase orders. So, so from here, like you can select something and add it to a PO. You can have all of your products and services have stock takes, and if they go below a certain thing, it becomes a pending order. All of those things just happen just like you would see them in Repair Shopper. The only thing, like I said, might be different is making sure that those features are enabled for while you're testing.
And I really like the option. There is an option where you can just automatically order all of the products that you have low stock on, which is nice. And that's just kind of a really quick way to do it and add everything. So
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see, Garrett's just saying, I don't have a pending orders list. And I don't know, it might not be there until you have a pending order. Let's just take a look one more time. Just because I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing, just because I don't know if it's in there. It might be in, it could even be in your inventory preferences, and it might be something that you need to enable as well. So yeah, maybe after this, if you want, whether it's myself or one of the gals, if you want to take a screenshot of what you're seeing, if you're not able to see that pending orders, but it might be because you just don't have any pending orders at this time. So let us know how we can help in that.
Question here from Frederick. He says, could you run through the ticket flow cycle? I'm not sure we do it right, as we tend to resolve before invoicing. So happy to share a couple things here with you guys. I will share what I have open here. So couple things here. So when you're working tickets, it sounds like you are running into the issue that you are resolving before invoicing, which is what you said in your question. So here with Syncro, you have the ability to create any custom ticket status that you would like. You can literally enter whatever makes sense for your guys' workflow. So it sounds like you are looking to invoice before you completely close out the ticket. So with that being said, I have a couple examples in here that I'd like to show you. So if you go over to your admin section and you scroll down towards the bottom into your ticket preferences, and then go over to additional settings. Let me move my screen here real quick. You have some hard-coded ones built into here. Resolved is one of them. However, you can add your own ticket statuses in here. What I recently learned is you have the capability to enter the word resolved in front of or as part of any ticket status, and that will stop the time to resolution timer for you. Meaning, if you are looking to make sure that once you're done working on a ticket, you want to stop the time to resolution and invoice at that point, I have a status in here called resolved dash ready to invoice. And so really once you switch it to that custom status, you then can create saved ticket searches in here, and you can even have each of your techs or whoever your bookkeeper is, whoever controls the billing for you guys, have a default ticket status, meaning I have ones pre-built in here. I have ones that says work complete to be invoiced. And so really you can save these searches that you specify right up here and have an active list running of those type of tickets that are work is complete, and you don't want the timer still going, but you are not looking to completely resolve it because the work still needs to be invoiced, reviewed, emailed, and then once you accept payment. So I don't know what your exact process is, but hopefully using those custom statuses is going to be beneficial to you. Please let me know. Oh, here we go. We have another comment in here. He says, we have some SLA clients that only get a flat fee invoice per month and only hardware invoices additionally. How do we clear pending ticket charges from the invoice? Oh, good question. Go ahead, Crystal.
I was talking to him yesterday and said to join this because I felt like we could probably tackle this question here.
Yeah.
So one of the things, so I'm just going to read this one more time. Clients that only get a flat fee invoice once per month and only hardware invoices additionally. One question I had for you, those hardware invoices that are in addition to just the flat rate, do you send those as things are completed or once a month? That's one thing that will help me determine this. The other thing is that if you have a flat rate for most of your customers, like when you're in a ticket, Tatiana, do you want to show like when you're tracking time within a ticket, depending on how you have your settings set up. So like in this, you can see they're all set to automatically charge that time by default. You could have your account set up on the flip side where you are tracking that time, but it never becomes a pending ticket charge. So really, the only thing that would be considered pending is when you're adding those products or that hardware to an actual ticket. So like those things would not become pending ticket charges unless you actually hit charge time. And then if you go to just the add or view charges, Tatiana, in that ticket, so really this is the screen to pay attention to, because the only thing that's considered a pending ticket is what's in that screen. So for example, if most of your customers you don't actually charge time or labor, but you do charge for hardware and material, you could just make sure when you're tracking time you're not charging for that time, because it still does report. So any report you run will still show those hours that you spent. And then that way, really, if you had, and you could do this a couple of different ways, you could have your reoccurring invoice where you have your flat rate and then the add any pending ticket charges, and it would pull anything from those line items, which would, if you were doing it like I'm suggesting here, would only be your hardware and your products, and your hours would never show up on the reoccurring invoice. So if you did that, then one thing I do want to mention here too. So if you wanted to just double check, because maybe you have some customers that you're charging labor, some customers that you're not, you could have that reoccurring invoice generate. It generates at 6 a.m. your local time. So you could have that reoccurring invoice generate. You could see like if there were pending ticket charges on that invoice that you didn't want on there, you can just get rid of them. It doesn't, like, you don't have to that you that it doesn't mess anything up. You literally can just get rid of certain line items if you want, and then send that reoccurring invoice out. So again, I think there's a lot of different ways you could do this, and it does, in my opinion, depend on like the majority of your customers. Like, so if a majority of your customers are this way, where they're like the labor might be all inclusive, I would really utilize that setting where it doesn't automatically charge that time by default. So you're still tracking your time, it's still reportable, but it doesn't become a pending ticket charge unless you make it a pending ticket charge. So I think that's kind of the direction I would have you take. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple other things specific to, if you wanted to, you could still, we also have this ticket time by technician report in our built-in reporting within Syncro. And this will give you a list of all tickets and if you have charged at that time or not. So maybe if you are making sure that you are charging the time, you can go through these and make sure that this is selected in the way that you're expecting it to be. So that's one report that could be useful to you. Another one is our customer detail report. I try to show this one on every demo because exactly like Crystal said, if you are looking to still at least keep track of your time, whether it be internally or if you want to send this report to your customer on a schedule to prove your value to them. This report is still going to have all that time that you're entering into the ticket. However, and it'll even show like how long each ticket is open and then if you're billing for that time or not. So again, super useful. So I've heard some MSPs choose to have this running on a schedule same time their recurring invoice goes out. So customer gets a bill and they get a report of everything that you have been assisting them with. So hopefully that is useful. Let me just double check. Could charged time be set per client? Not currently, but I hear that very often and I think it would be useful.
And you could use contracts, like you could show contracts. It still would show, like if you have everything charging by default, it still would show like zeros.
It's going to override the pricing anyways.
It'll override the pricing, but like it would still be considered a pending ticket charge if you had everything charging by default. So like the reoccurring invoice would still show like remote labor 2 hours, zero.
Yes.
But this would at least give you kind of like a fail safe just in case. It might show up on an invoice, but you're still not charging for it. So that's kind of like, I think it's like a secondary line of security there.
Absolutely. I agree.
Cool. I see a question from Ari. So branding the tray contact form is great. However, I can't find a way to brand my outbound emails per customer. I have one customer that I have branded contact form for so that I look internal. However, when I reply to the emails from his client, when they fill out the form, it's still using my standard branding rather than the same specific branding for that customer. I don't see an option to have specific email templates for customers like how I can brand the form. I also don't see a way to have multiple email addresses which I can send from, some assigned for specific customers. Are either of these customizable yet? So you can only have one outbound mailbox. You can have multiple inbound mailboxes, but you can have multiple inbound, one outbound. And then I'm going to just show real quickly, I'm going to share my screen on here for the agent contact form. This is what Ari's talking about. So you can either use your own logo, and this is for the agent contact form, or you can use a different logo. So I'm assuming this is where you went ahead and changed that for your client so that you look internal. However, there's not a way to brand the emails per customer that I'm aware of yet, but I think that's a very fair and valid argument. So I'm happy to pass along that request, absolutely. But currently there's not a way to do that per customer and use different branding for each email.
The only thing you can do that with right now, we just released templates for invoices, but not tickets. So you can have different invoice templates for different customers. And have those completely different branded. It would still come from the same email address, but you would be able to create different templates. So when you create those templates, and then you can go to an individual customer, and whatever you have set as default, the system, if you create a new customer, it's just going to use the default template. But if you go to the customer and then edit that customer detail page, you do have the ability to select a specific template for them. But I think that was a really good start. Like the main feature request was, hey, invoices, I need to be able to send out different templates. That was like the overwhelming feature request. So it seems like I can see the value here as well. So absolutely, I'm sure Brandy's already passed it along.
Yep.
But yeah, good call.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Next question in here is from Christopher. He says, we do lots of large projects with hundreds of charges and multiple phases and tasks. Do you know how other Syncro users are managing their projects with Syncro? Really good question, and I will be completely transparent as we usually are with the things that are our strengths, and specifically within Syncro, we do not currently have a built-in, oh, where did we go?
I'm here.
1 second. I am experiencing some excitement on my end. I don't know what happened. Just a second. Trying to show you. I'm trying to answer your question. Here we go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I think the battery in my mouse is dying, and it just does whatever it wants. It has a mind of its own. Okay, so to answer your question directly, we do not currently have a projects module built into Syncro, as you can see here. Currently, if you are looking to manage a project within Syncro, you would need to utilize our ticketing within. Now, there are a couple things built into Syncro that give you the ability to manage projects, I would say, on a smaller scale, because you can utilize worksheets within here. You can create a worksheet that you've set up ahead of time. You can pull it in this way. I have a couple in here. I have the virus removal that we show we try to show on every demo. Same thing, you can kind of pull in worksheets as you're working on them in here. You can also create a completely on the fly type of worksheet, which does include text boxes, check boxes, drop down menus. You can kind of reorganize things based on the phase of the project, things like that. You can include custom links. You also have the capability to pull in custom fields. Again, I don't show this a ton just because I don't have a ton of people asking for this. And again, this does feel like if you really wanted to make it work, you could utilize it in this way. But I know that some people have used like a child ticket and a link to that. So if you had like a master ticket and you wanted to link the other kind of sub projects to that master project, you could do it that way. And And what's cool is with worksheets specifically, when you are checking things off on your list here, it does give you kind of like a progress bar, and you can see who is making that selection. So if a different user comes in, they picks up right where you left off, it would be their name right there. Let me see if I'm missing anything there. Yeah, and then charging is based on the description we just went into previously as well. If you're adding time to a ticket, you can choose whether you're charging it or not. You can run reports against that. Let's see. If any of you guys who joined us today, if you have a very specific way that you've utilized Syncro for project management, if you want to chime in, happy to pass that along. Ari says, yeah, project management modules, the only module on my wish list that's totally missing Syncro. Yeah, definitely will. I think the more often people request it, the faster it'll get shipped. If it's going to make you more profitable, more efficient, it's going to make you a ton of money, we want to build it for you.
And we'd rather build things inside of Syncro rather than having to have an integration for another platform. So if we can build it inside of Syncro and keep everything in one place, that's ideal for us and for you.
Yep. So just let us know. Let us know what specific things on the checklist that are not already covered in the ticketing would be useful for you in a project module. Happy to pass those along.
Would love a project module. We've got about 4 votes for that, and I'm sure some others would raise their hand. So we
Absolutely.
will pass that along.
I was just going to really quickly answer just a quick question when we were on inventory. It was asking, does inventory pull from the distributor? It does not. Well, yes and no. It's not anything that's like directly linked and pulls like updated pricing information and that kind of thing. But it does, like, you do have the ability on like any product or service, you can like set up all of your vendors here and then attach vendors to specific products and that kind of thing, so everyone knows where to order and that kind of idea. But it's not going to pull like updated pricing at this point. It's not an integration with like Etilize or anything like that at this point. Has been requested, definitely has been documented though. And then the other one that I'll just address really quick is just kind of the status of the Mac agent. So right now, I mean, we absolutely, it's really high on the list, the Mac agent is. In light of a lot of things that are going on, I will be super transparent. It did kind of like scoot down the list a little bit. So everything that our customers have been asking for as of late are a little bit different than what we had like planned for the next 3 months. And so we are kind of adjusting. We're keeping those big items though still on the roadmap. It just got moved back just a little bit, but we do want to focus on that. We would like to have, an organically built-in remote control within our Mac agent. Aside from the actual remote control in the Mac agent, it's functioning really, really well in regards to monitoring and that kind of thing. And I know that a lot of folks are using, I think most people are using Screen Connect, and then Bitdefender is the antivirus that is running currently with our Mac agent. So not WebRoot or MCSoft, but Bitdefender is supported. Okay. See, it's like a wave of questions and then like blank questions. Oh, another one. As I say it.
Yeah, not to be a broken record, but any plans to update and upgrade the mobile app? Would love alerts and notifications there and the ability to change things like policy without having to do the web view on the phone. Yes, Aaron, things are coming. I think things are coming soon for mobile app. So
yes, we will neither confirm or deny
yes.
But I would just say,
things are looking good for you.
Things are looking really good. Like even we're like I said, our dev team is out of control right now, ready to just all hands on deck build features that are absolutely necessary, especially now. And the mobile app has been rapidly moving up the list for sure.
Specific to the Mac agent, Garrett says, FYI, I put my Screen Connect ID pulled from Mac client's preference into Syncro for one-click Screen Connect.
Awesome.
That is awesome. I'm going to screenshot that so I remember it for the next person that asks me about the Mac agent. Because, again, we love it when you guys submit things to us that you're currently using, because obviously you guys are like all hands on deck, constantly in this, testing it. And we're happy to pass that along to the rest of our Syncro users.
Um, Question, Aaron, because it says on the realm of making money faster, that would be big, and also the ticket timer on the mobile app. So out of curiosity, what about the ticket timer? Because you can use the timer. I just confirmed on my, I pulled it up. I was like, wait, I swear that's available. So you can start the timer on a ticket. So if it's something different, please let me know, and I'm happy to pass it on.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized I'm still sharing. Sorry. Looking at the commission report, the only options I see are default, hardware, and labor. I am having to go through all products and mark since it didn't pull from QuickBooks, but is there a way to add another line like SAS, or would it be best to mark software as default? So really, let's do a couple things. If you go to your admin section, uh, there's uh, there's a couple things. So let's go to inventory and preferences first. So this category editor, if you want different categories, you absolutely can create different categories, and your products and services can be linked to these categories and even linked to your products in QuickBooks. So you can edit, rename, move, rearrange, all of that good stuff. And then in the actual report, and I'm just going, I went there first, but then let's now confirm. So is it this employee sales and commission report? Let me just double check. So product and category. Okay, so now all of these items are pulling from my category editor from my inventory. So I'm hoping that's answering your question, and you can get a little bit more of a granular report there. So by utilizing the settings in your inventory and then linking each inventory product. So what I mean by that, oops, wrong thing. Sorry. By going to products and services here, I'll just, whatever it is, I can go into any of these. You'll see that you can select the category that it is. It'll pull from that list, as well as, I mean, I have zero connected here, but you can link to your QuickBooks item from here. So hopefully that helps. I think this will allow you to get a more granular look and report. Hopefully that helps, Colin. Okay.
Say it again, Crystal. Say it again. Say we have no more questions. Maybe more will appear right away.
It didn't work that time. Okay. Well, I wanted to show something because I think it's awesome. All right, so I'm going to go to Assets and RMM. We just released this. I'm going to go to a machine that's online. You can do this from a couple different places. But I'm going to go to Actions, and I'm going to broadcast a message. And I'm going to say hello and happy Friday. And then I'm going to send this broadcast. And then I'm going to launch into a Syncro Live session. And we're live demoing here, folks. So, boom. Hello.
Woo!
Yep, love it. And two, on that point, you can do it on an asset basis. You can do it based on a particular customer, so all of their devices. You can do it based on a saved asset search. Yeah, all kinds of things. It's awesome.
Because you like Brandy's saying, like whatever, however you want to select all of these, it's up now in your manage section, so you can send a broadcast message to a lot of folks. If you create like a saved asset search for, maybe you have a subset of devices that you want to do maintenance on over the weekend. You could pop that up at 4:45 or something that's like leave your computer on or something like that. So a lot of awesome use cases for that broadcast.
Will you click on that, the broadcast message also, because you don't have to highlight them beforehand. You can come in once you put your title in.
Okay.
Oh, it's because you already selected 3 devices. If you didn't have those 3 devices selected, if you just unselect those and then you go up and do it, actions. You don't have to highlight them.
Actions now.
Broadcast message. This is how I do it. And then from here, you can choose your saved search, your customers, your policies, etc.
Hello. I didn't there.
That's how
That's
I
freaking
do it,
awesome.
but you're teaching me other ways. So apparently there's 3 different ways that you can get into this, which is awesome.
This is cool though. I didn't realize when you said by customer, I thought you'd have to go to like the customer asset, like assets from the customer detail screen. That's sweet. I didn't
Yeah,
realize.
super awesome to be
Love
able to
it.
do it that way.
That
And
is
then
great.
I'll show another cool new feature.
Yes, go for it.
Um, for your customers that you've sent bills to and you've tried to get in touch with a million times and they're not paying their bills, now you have one-click disable scripting. So if you disable their scripting, if you, let me just pull up a particular device here for them. And now you're going to see their scripts and everything that you have in queue, which, let's see, we have, I don't know if there's any that are in here, but these are now not going to run. Now, it does give you the option to override. So if I open up that particular customer, or if I go to try to run a script, it's going to say, hey, scripting is disabled, but you can go ahead and override that and you'll be able to enable it. But one click, disable, enable, super easy now. Go collect your money.
Yes, absolutely. That's awesome. Like I said, I think like some of the stuff that we're releasing is just absolutely insane. I love it. Go ahead, Tatiana.
Question here from Garrett that I do not have an answer to, but I am asking our team about. He says, I have artifact on printed forms around my logo and captured signature. Any settings to change to remove that? I'm not sure why it would look that way for you. So just to confirm I am on the same page real quick, you're saying if you go over to your the email and PDF templates, you're saying when you're trying to print it, there's something else extra on there that you are not expecting there to be in here? Is that what you guys are reading? Because that's what I'm reading. So when you edit the invoice template, you remove the things that you didn't want to, and customize it that way. But when you go to print, something else is still popping up there.
Yeah, so printed forms around the logo. Around the logo, I would screenshot it, Garrett, and send it into help@syncromsp.com. It might
Yeah.
be something, an issue with the graphic or something like that. I would send that into help. Sorry. I don't know if I can help with that one. Okie dokie. Let's see. Is there a way to add folders to documentation? You can, there's not folders right now. There, you can do like, it's so funny because it's been so long since I've done this that I don't even think I could walk you through how to do it. You can do like subheaders over here on your left-hand side where you can create like a left nav bar, but we don't have folders yet. So I think that's definitely on the list of things that we would like to do because I think our documentation center is being more and more utilized, especially since we've added credentials. And of course, if you haven't seen documentation before, you can see that, you can have internal pages, you can send things to an individual customer portal, all customer portals, you can even create templates. You can take a look at my cute doggy this is there. That's Grizz, by the way. And other than that, though, right now, putting them in folders is a feature request, but happy to pass it along.
Garrett, to that previous question, Ari says that's probably an issue with the image format of the logo. Use a 24-bit PNG if possible. So try that and see if that helps with removing that weird watermark situation you have going on. Hopefully that is helpful. Thank you, Ari.
And Aaron, if you want, you can elaborate a little bit further. I just did pass your request along to our team. And if you want, here you can type it and elaborate a little further on what you're looking for, just so we can get some further clarification on that ticket timer and not having it attached to a ticket and customer. Our team is asking, which means that's good. They've seen the request and they just want a little bit further information. Like if you already have them, and if you don't want to do it in here, you can shoot me an email or email help@syncromsp.com. Either one works. But really just wondering if you already have that customer set up, with address and things like that before you're going on site. If you have any of their information, and assuming you don't have a ticket already started for them. So if there's anything that you want to provide and kind of a little further of a use case, that would be awesome, as to how this could make you more money and make it easier and more efficient for you.
Yeah, and I've heard that before too.
I have too.
Where it's like you just want to be able to hit a timer. Just instead of having to bring up a customer or create a ticket, all of that, you just like hit a timer and then add it later so that it leaves documented somewhere. Yeah, definitely have heard that. And then did it disappear, the question about also being able to like turn off third-party application?
Third-party, yeah, I'm posting that in feature chat, yeah.
Okay, got it. Yes, because I think maybe I don't know, maybe it was the same person, but we did hear that. Ian and I heard that on Wednesday as well.
Windows updates and third-party patching to be able to disable those.
Yep, exactly. And the workaround obviously for that is, I mean, you can change a policy on a group of assets with a click of a button. So like right now, it was
Aaron. So
that's funny. So yeah, it's not a cure-all, but it's like just a switch a policy really quick across like an entire, like if a customer's not paying you or something like that, just put that entire customer's assets in a policy that remains, like the agent remains on it, but you're not monitoring anything anymore. Yeah, hopefully you won't need it. Hopefully everything is on the up and up and you don't need to pause everything. Cool. All right, what else should we show? Let me grab my list.
Sorry, I'm typing. I'm getting all of your requests over to people.
Love it.
I have one that this was requested. So for those of you that were with Ian and I on Wednesday, just kind of a testament to how much we're listening. There was a question about, hey, I really like how you can send a link to a customer to download the agent. But can we do that without having to create a ticket? And so this functionality has always been there, but what we've done is now if you go to that policy here, we've got a little clipboard. So this is just copy paste to your clipboard. So we're absolutely listening. We heard that one. We're like, hey, that functionality is there, and let's like at least throw a little tooltip in here so people know that you can just copy paste that and send that to your customer. So again, just something that I think was added last night that was absolutely amazing. I know that Tatiana probably has one she's going to want to share because I think she was asking for it in ticket automations.
We've had a lot of people ask for that one, so I'm excited about that one too.
Do you want to show that, Tatiana?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We get so excited when we see stuff ship for you guys, just because we talk to you guys on demos, we do these open office hours, and we love that the dev team is super responsible. But I think this is the one you guys are referring to. When you are submitting any form of communication on a ticket, you now have the capability to choose to automatically update the ticket status. So this is huge. As mentioned previously, you can, for example, if you entered some notes and you are now waiting on the customer to respond, you can say submit waiting on customer, and then it would be listed right up here that your ticket status is automatically updated. So again, as you guys know, I already talked about, you can add any custom ticket status, any custom ticket type, and you have the capability to create not only automated remediations off of those, but also ticket automations as well. So I'll show those real quick. We just updated something else related to this that I personally requested.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And this like late at night, like 10 p.m., somebody or one of our devs, Garrett, pinged me and he's like, guess what? And I was like, no way. It just feels so good when you're the one that put in the request and it actually gets done. So in both of these sections here, you have the capability to obviously use the to create custom issue ticket types here, but now both in the automated remediation, you can now post not only to Slack, but to Microsoft Teams to keep everybody updated, which is super exciting because I think before it was only available on one or the other. I always mix them up, so I'm not going to say which one was.
Not on automated remediations.
Yeah. So with ticket automations, you had the capability to post to Slack, post to Teams to keep your, everybody on your team updated, but it's now available through automated remediation, which is so exciting.
Very exciting. And now that, I mean, if you hear Microsoft Teams is blowing up, like, holy moly, I think it was like 12 million new users over like a weekend or something like that, which is crazy. One thing I was going to just respond to, Dave was just curious when the last time we made a major change to the mobile app. So I would say that was probably the last major update. Was we showed online offline for RMM devices as well as scripting capabilities from the mobile app. So that was a couple months ago. So we definitely do. We're hearing the requests, and so we've got a lot of really cool stuff on the way. Go ahead.
I got a good one from Tony. So saw this on the Facebook group. Can we get the ability to set up a page for new clients, specifically useful for residential clients, where they go to the page, enter all their details, choose their policy in a friendly way, and Syncro will create a client for them, provide an agent installer link, take payment, and set up recurring invoice? Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. This is going to be done. And by the way, we do have, and I can look it up here in a minute and post that in the chat, but we do have instructions on how to do this. We don't have an official knowledge base article yet. We have requested one, and I think that we will probably have one soon. A lot of people have been asking about this, especially now. So what you can do for now is you can go into Assets in RMM, click on View, and go down to the pricing packages. This is going to be all of your different policies that you have set up in Syncro already. If you go into one of these and you go to edit the description, and also I think I have one for residential I set in here to show someone. Okay, so if you wanted, for example, to only show this option to customers, you can choose just that option by choosing this particular number. Now, if you don't and you want to just go ahead and get rid of that particular package ID, you can give them a link. It's then going to ask you to select your different option. So mine's not very pretty because I don't have, most of these are free, but they could check which one that they want. It's going to go ahead and have them enter their details so that it's just matching if they are already a customer of yours. So I do this about every day, so I'm going to pick a different one. B test, okay, and I should be able to create one right here. It is going to check to see if it's a current customer. If it is, from their portal, it'll say, okay, you can just go to your portal and you'll be able to install it now. If you are using one of the payment processors, I do believe it asks for your information prior, but they can go ahead and download the software, and it auto-generates a recurring invoice that will be sent completed the following day. Is that right? Didn't we decide that it would send the next day? So it will generate a recurring invoice, and where you're going to find those now is if you go into invoices. I don't know if it will be in here quite yet. B test, here it is. So I'm not sure why it says Kabuto, but it's not. And this is your recurring invoice for that silver package. And I think it'll run tomorrow.
Yeah, and just a little bit, just of a background of this. We would like to take some time on a dev standpoint to kind of clean this up for you. This is something that we actually brought over. The reason it says Kabuto is our product as well, and it was kind of built on that side. This is essentially a hidden feature at this point. It's 100% active. It works exactly how Brandy just showed you, but we do kind of plan on taking kind of like a beauty pass through these from the dev team and make it a little bit more Syncro friendly. However, it does work. It absolutely does work, which is cool. Thank you for showing that.
Yeah, and if you want instructions. Tony, if you have my email, I'll drop it in there and I'll send it to you. I'll just make a note right now.
Quick suggestion from Dave. He says the ticket status is great. He's referring to being able to automatically update the ticket status when submitting any form of communication. He says would be useful if they added it to time log as well. I enter most of my time through the time log, so definitely will update, let our devs know that you would like that.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then it kind of like looks like a bit of a request for around the mobile app. Notifications on iPhone take you to the mobile app front page and not to the ticket asset. Would really like it to link directly to the ticket asset. Absolutely, we've heard that. I think that's actually on the list already. Okay, cool. Let me, I have a list here because there was one other thing that I really wanted to show you, or actually there's like a couple things I wanted to show you guys too. So I'm going to go back just to share my screen. I'm going to go to scripts. There's some pretty awesome stuff happening with our PowerShell module also. I think it's worth just showing. If you create a new script, we do have this built-in PowerShell module that is incredibly powerful. You can do anything from read or write to custom fields, log time in a ticket, that kind of thing. But now you can have things log activity for the asset. So you can actually have a script running, and whether you want it to create an RMM alert or not, you can just have that thing report in the activity log. So again, maybe it's checking for failed logins, and every time there's a failed login, you want it to post to that asset activity log. So if you have this built into your script, really you only have to put this into the first line of your script, then define what you want to be added to the activity log, and then in your asset, where that will show up in your asset here, it'll show up just in your activity feed here. And I'm sure you've seen that we can now, you can get your activity feed into a CSV, and you can even filter and stuff like that. So there's some really cool things. You'll see obviously we've added the broadcast message as well to the activity feed. So we're trying to make this as usable as possible for real case scenarios. And then the other thing that I wanted to show to you while I'm just right here, we have added in, oh, I'm already in the art reports page, but we've got ticket communications here. So again, this was something also very, very widely requested. So not only can you filter by customer, you can filter by subject types, by employees. If you want to just drill down, if you have someone on the phone that's like, well, so-and-so said this to me, then, you know, hopefully everything's logged, but I mean, you can kind of see, or you're like, I got an email from so-and-so that said this, but I don't remember who it was, or something like that. You can easily now go to your ticket communications, look at this. And in addition to that, obviously, not only on your tech side, it's nice to be able to say, hey, that customer said this. So this is just a really nice thing. This again was very highly requested and gives you a lot of different options on how you to filter that. You can even schedule it. You can add it to one of your favorites in reports, which is something that we've added recently as well. So again, like these things, we're just releasing things left and right. Everything we showed you has been either the very end of last week or this week, which is like pretty incredible. So I'll be quiet now. I think there's more questions coming in.
Yeah, I see one. Ari says, is there a way to change the length limit of the activity feed or script feed to hide or ignore specific items from the feed? If I have a policy that's running scripts hourly or more frequently, then it can take up the whole feed and push off the items I'm actually looking for. Let me just pull up my screen real quickly. You're not able to limit the activity feed, and let me just show you my assets in RMM. Let me pull up a device here. There are a couple things that you could look for. So if you're in here, I think it shows the most recent 25 lines, and that's not something that can be changed, but just like Crystal was showing in the reports, if you needed to see certain things, you could use that. You didn't go into the asset activity, did you?
I didn't do that.
Okay.
And yeah,
you could use this and you could come in and you could see the different things that are showing. So if you needed to see your remote sessions or automations, RMM alerts, things like that, then you would be able to view them this way. Anything else?
And the other thing I just was going to say too, all scripts don't go into that activity feed unless you have that portion of the PowerShell module enabled on that, like in that script. So I don't think scripts show up in the activity.
Those are only going to show up on the actual device if you pop open the device and then you go to the scripts tab.
Yeah, so it's not gonna, scripts are not gonna show up in that activity feed unless you want them to, which a lot of people, there were certain ones that they wanted that to happen. So yeah, it's not gonna by default start posting all of your scripts. You have to use the power.
But if you wanted more than the 25 lines, then you could either export from the top of that device up here. You would be able to export activity, or you could just go into that report and you could run it.
Oh, Ari says, yeah, so for scripts, I'm looking for what happened with a specific script I ran a few days ago, but I couldn't find it because the scheduled ones pushed it off. Oh.
Let's see. The other way that you can look, and I don't know again how long, this might be something tech support might be able to help you with this, but the other thing that I would just show is like when you're in a script, you can see like the scheduled runs here. So let me go into one that actually has, so recycle bin. You can see only, oh shoot, only the last 5. I was wondering if there was a way,
Longer list.
because if you have it running on a lot of different things, I wonder.
What does the 3 buttons do there?
Yeah, scheduled runs. I'm just gonna look, remove from over there. Hello. Maybe I found something that we haven't fixed or haven't built. Maybe that's something we're building or something. Let me look. Yeah, right now I'm just seeing last 5. Yeah, I'll bring that up because I think that that would be super valuable to be able to find that.
Frederick has a request. He said, one thing I would like to be able to do was reply to tickets from my mail client. Now we get a bounce. That should be available, right? Like if you're using your email address to respond to a ticket, that should be working. So if it's not, please send a ticket to our tech support team so they can troubleshoot that for you. That is already available.
Yep. Question, can you customize an RMM subject to specify asset ID customer name? So yes and no. So let me just show you. I would rather just answer it in full. So if you're looking at notifications from your admin section, where if you go here and you have it set that you want to be notified on like all RMM alerts, for example, from here, this stuff, this is not customizable. This is kind of hard coded. You can choose how you want to be notified, but it's hard coded. So if you want to actually be able to specify what that email notification looks like, if you go to automated remediation here, this is where I could just go to any of these actually. This is where you can, if you want it to, like, you can add an action if you want it to send an email to either you or email the technician or whatever. You can, in the subject, use the template tags here. So if it's from the notification settings, no, you can't customize those, but automations, you absolutely can. Okay, what's next?
I think attached to that one that you just showed, he said, or even better, if we could link a specific run of a script to a ticket. You should be able to just choose from your list of scripts to specify that as a response to that custom RMM alert. All right, that's, yeah. Hopefully that helps. Next question, when using merged tickets, would like it if the link from merged ticket redirect to the ticket it merged. How we get an error page. Oh, interesting. I thought it would do that. Let me double check on this for you and I'll get back to you on that question. I need to do some testing real quick.
Oh, Dave wants to know, I found out that some invoices weren't sent because I mistyped their address. Is there a way to be notified when that happens? Do you guys know? I don't know. I don't think that's in notifications. Let me look.
I have never heard that request, but I
It's
can see how that would be useful.
Some invoices weren't sent because I mistyped
a
their.
valid one.
I wonder if it would show in the ticket communications report they just built, like if something failed. Might be another place to check other than notifications.
Actually, that's a good point, but then they'd have to actually look. Like they wouldn't, like they
Right,
wouldn't.
you're not getting that notification for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Invoice
Invoice.
was skipped to was
Hmm.
mailed to the customer. Shoot, so you can see that it's mailed to them, but not if it failed. Yeah, that's a good request um, because one of the things, like if you go to communications, like this is one thing that you can see if it like failed. Right? Isn't this is like a place you could see if it failed, but you'd want a notification from that. So, that's a really good one. I'm gonna send that to the team right now. Okay, what else? 5 minutes. Go.
Crazy.
Like I'm working on a ticket. I can see all the scripts that were run in order to fix this ticket across all assets. Hmm. Yeah, that's a really good suggestion, Dave. I agree. I think there should be a little bit of a notification if there's a bounce. That's awesome. And then as far as Ari, I actually think I feel like there's got to be a way to do this, but I feel like maybe it's probably done on a level of technicality that we might not be able to help you with. So either I would service this in Facebook or ask our tech support. Our tech support people are super smart and they'll test things out for you so you don't have to. So I would, yeah. Um, yeah, Ian might have known too. That's a good question. But yeah, I think either the Facebook group, because we see the Facebook group requests too. So that might be the best way to do it because I'm sure someone's wanted to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So that would be my suggestion.
Mm-hmm. Frederick, I just double checked. It looks like, yes, you are right. Not currently available. I will definitely pass that along as a request.
Sweet.
For you.
Let's see here. We've got 4 minutes left.
How are you guys doing? How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
Let's check in.
Is everyone busy? Are they slow? I've heard both. I've heard like you're getting all the spillover from Apple if you're doing repairs and things like that. And then, I kind of hear a little bit of everything, but I think it depends on where you are in the world, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've got people from all over the world that join us.
Ari says super busy is finally starting to calm down. I think next week will be close to back to normal. Good.
I read an article about like the storm before the calm, kind of. Yeah.
Lots of home workstations.
Yes, perfect time to switch to Syncro for all. Yes, Garrett. Yes, perfect time. All managed services, all of them. Yes. Yeah, a lot of homework stations set up. A technician chat. Ooh, a technician chat channel on Syncro would be ace. Like that too. Like we're on a demo, like chat with her like really quickly. Like we kind of do that already.
That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Oh.
Lots of new. I have heard a lot of people, if you take your customers that you normally go into their office, and I've heard a lot of people tell me, well, now they purchased, laptops and headsets and everything for all of their employees, and now you have to go set them all up at home. So I know it's been pretty wild.
It really has.
Ooh, Colin says trying to fine tune everything so that we can drop SolarWinds hopefully next month. We have a ton of people moving over from SolarWinds. If you have not talked to your account representative, please do Also, the Facebook group is a huge resource. A lot of people share scripts in there, how to deploy the Syncro agent across your current endpoints, tips on setup, stuff like that. Please don't hesitate to reach out, or please don't hesitate to stop avoiding Facebook because it's a really good resource. It really is. If you want to hear what people who are already paying for Syncro, what they think about it,
we can't tell who this is because it says anonymous, but moving from SolarWinds was the best thing we did last year. So that's cool.
Oh, yay.
And Ari says my mom mentioned wanting to learn how to Zoom, and I was surprised she even knew what it was. That's cool. I tell my grandma, I mean, she's like, what, I don't know, 87 or something. And she's like, let's have a Zoom meeting with the whole family because we're all over, the US. So I'm like, okay, do you know how to log in?
Oh, that is too funny. And also another really cool thing, it's like, Andy's mentioning that he's working on getting Syncro fully set up, and it is going to be worth the time. It's going to be worth the time. It's so intuitive. It's going to, the time that you put in to get all of those things, and once you drill into the automations and everything you can do from one place, it's absolutely going to be worth it. I'm excited for you.
I got to pop off. I have a demo.
Oh, geez, it's 10. Holy
it's 10.
And another person left Kaseya. Never looked back. Best move. Ended on that one. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe,
all.
healthy. All right.
Have a good weekend.
Bye, guys.
Good weekend.